Hi members, and welcome to a Melbourne edition of Stock Trek. My name is Mitchell Sneddon and I'm joined by analyst John Mills, and today we're going to be talking about the latest news on Crown. Now, John, last week we heard that 18 Crown employees in mainland China were arrested by Chinese officials. They were accused of gambling crimes. Can you elaborate on this and tell us a bit more about why they actually were arrested?
Well, that's a very good question because we don't know for sure why they were arrested. The Chinese government has quoted gambling crimes, which we think, or we suspect, means that they are being accused of advertising or marketing gambling services in mainland China.
And this is illegal?
This is illegal. And there's a big grey area here because all the big casino companies obviously want Chinese, in particular Chinese VIPs, to visit their casinos, whether they're in Australia or elsewhere. And so they have employees, shall we say, buttering up the local Chinese to come visit their casinos. So they are allowed to market their resorts and market tourism, but they can't actually market or advertise the gambling and the casinos attached to those resorts.
So they potentially butted someone the wrong way?
Exactly. I mean, details are scarce, so who knows? Maybe they've annoyed a local government official. Maybe they have actually committed the crime they're accused of by the government. We don't really know at this stage.
Yeah, but right now this is all pure speculation. And speaking of speculation, the share price today, just before we came in here to do this, we noted it was down 12%. So surely any movements in Crown right now is based on pure speculation because we just do not have any clarity around this.
Exactly. And I think it's an example of the market shooting first and asking questions later. I mean, obviously, well, not obviously, but there's highly likely to be some impact from this, whether it's a reluctance by Chinese VIPs to visit Crown's casinos in Australia or a reluctance on the part of ordinary Chinese to visit Australia. But we think a 12% decline is too much.
Now, we still have remained with a buy call on Crown. Is that also speculation, considering we, just like everyone else, do actually not know the reasoning behind this and the greater details?
No, it's not speculation. It's based on our calculation of the estimated value of Crown and its investment in Melco Crown in particular. Well, Melco Crown as well. It probably will have some impact on Chinese visitation to Crown's Australian casinos, but if you look at the VIP revenue of Crown Melbourne, it's around 29-30% of its revenue and less in terms of net profit. It's even less for its Crown Casino in Perth. It will have some impact on the VIP visitation, but I think over the long term, it is an overreaction by the market.
Okay, and what does it mean for Crown's non-Macau-based operations, particularly, say, Barangaroo?
Well, I think that's one reason why it's down 12%. It's Crown Sydney and Barangaroo is targeted to the VIP market, which means Chinese VIPs in particular. But one thing you've got to understand is VIP is defined as $25 hands and above. Now, maybe we need a pay rise, but we could become VIPs and
one
gamble
night
at Crown
only
Sydney.
we could be VIPs.
Exactly. So it is targeted towards the Chinese market. It's 5 years away at probably the earliest because they're still having problems trying to build it and get all the approvals. But I think the market has overreacted based on its perceived impact on Barangaroo in particular.
So what does this mean for the broader industry, the broader gaming industry? We have already seen Star Entertainment Group supposedly fly all of its employees out of mainland China as well. So what are the broader implications here? Well,
I think it's going to impact all the casinos in Australia, obviously Star Entertainment and Sky City, which owns casinos in New Zealand and Australia. But I think over the long term, you still have that trend with more Chinese, both ordinary and VIPs, visiting Australia in coming decades. The lower Australian dollar helps. As we said in Betting on Crown and articles since then, you still have a rising Chinese consumer class. Tens of millions more Chinese are entering the middle class, and with that comes a desire to travel, not only to Macau but overseas, including Australia. And so, yes, you'll have a short-term impact, but I think the impact is relatively minor over the long term.
So, looking at the long term, we're maintaining our valuation.
Yeah, look, we at Intelligent Investor are not short-term investors. So this is an opportunity, or we see it as an opportunity rather than a bad thing. Obviously, the market's reacted and it's not ideal, but we think the market has overreacted.
And which equals an opportunity for us.
Exactly. So we've upgraded it to buy. We have reduced the buy price from $13 to $12 because there is uncertainty, and we're just being cautious. We want a little bit more margin of safety, but at current prices, I think there's it's around $11.50 or so. So there's a bit of margin there if members want to choose to buy it.
Excellent. So what can members expect to see from our coverage of this over the next few days and weeks as hopefully more information comes to light?
Yeah, well, we'll obviously update members when information or more information does come to light. I think the lawyers have finally been able to speak to the people who've been in prison over in China, but still the details are very, very scarce. So we will certainly update members when and if new information arises. And if it changes our case, look, we could be wrong, but if it changes our case, we will update members as soon as possible.
If it changes our case, we are always free, of course, to change our investment opinion.
Exactly. Look, facts change, and we're not going to stick to our case if the facts don't support it. But at this stage, based on our understanding of what has potentially happened and our estimated valuation of Crown, we think it's a buy under $12.
Excellent. Thank you, John. Members, thank you for joining us on a special Melbourne edition of Stock Trek, and we'll catch you next time.